Hi guys, it's Adam here for the Disney theme park vlog, and today we're going to be updating you on everything that's happening at Disney right now. It's scary times out there, so from all of us at the channel, we hope you and your family and friends are all keeping safe. There is lots of hope on the horizon though, as we'll be telling you about the news of Disney parks reopening, what to expect when Disney parks do open, and what Disney have been up to during this period, and how it might affect things for the Walt Disney Company in the future. To keep up to date with all the news and guides to get you excited about visiting Disney theme parks, please give this video a like or subscribe to our channel to make sure you don't miss out on our latest content. So currently all the Disney theme parks around the world are closed, and that includes Disney Cruise Line too. But it has just been announced that Shanghai Disneyland is scheduled to reopen on the 11th of May. As the first Disney park to close back in January, Shanghai Disneyland will also be the first to reopen. Shanghai Disneyland reopened Disneytown, Wishing Star Park and the Shanghai Disneyland Hotel on the 9th of March, and with Disney happy that the measures put in place, they're now seeking to open the whole resort and theme park. None of the other Disney parks have set reopening dates at this point, but the measures put in place for Shanghai give us a good idea of what to expect when the time comes to open the US parks, Hong Kong, Tokyo and Paris. From the 11th of May, Shanghai Disneyland will reopen for guests only with a reservation in place. Social distancing will be in place throughout the resort, and there will be extra checks for guests and staff, including temperature checks and contact tracing. Staff and guests will also be required to wear masks inside the resort, except when dining, and the capacity of the resort has been very much reduced. The park's normal operating capacity is 80,000. But this has been reduced to 24,000 guests to begin with. As we said, you'll need a reservation, and it's advance tickets only, with annual pass holders needing to make a reservation to gain admittance. To enable the social distancing, Disney are going to be doing more virtual queues, just like they've been doing for Galaxy's Edge and Rise of the Resistance. This normally makes use of the Disney apps and works in a similar way to the FastPass system. Disney will also be putting extra cleaning and sanitation procedures in place, so you can expect lots of hand sanitizers before you enter attraction and as soon as you come off. Nighttime spectaculars, parades and theatre shows will remain closed or cancelled for the time being, as these tend to create crowds. To compensate, Disney are also offering a few more smaller character parades throughout the day, as well as a smaller castle, light and music show. Now the characters will still be out and about, but there will be no close-up photos or hugs at the moment. The Disney characters will be there to wave and welcome you to the various lands, but from a distance at this point. Disney have also confirmed that face characters will not be wearing face masks, so this gives us a good idea of what Disney are exploring for the parks, and with Shanghai opening first, they will be monitoring this really closely to see how it works and if it could be implemented at their other parks around the world. Now over in Florida, Disney have announced that Disney Springs at the Walt Disney World Resort will begin a phased opening from the 20th of May. At this point it will only be third-party restaurants and shops that will be opening. These are the restaurants and shops not directly operated by Disney. We expect not every one of those will want to open on the 20th of May, and it will depend very much on those individual companies, but it is good to see that things are starting to reopen at Disney's biggest resort. There will again be limits on capacity both at Disney Springs and in the car parks, and face masks will be required for staff and guests. Social distancing will be in place and contactless menus and payments will be required. Walt Disney World is now accepting reservations from the 1st of July onwards, and there are incentives for guests who have needed to delay their holiday, with a free dining offer when you rebook. There's no news yet for when Disneyland California might reopen, but Disney have announced that construction will start soon, with social distancing in place. One of their big building projects going on right now at Disney's California Adventure is the Avengers Campus, that was due to open on the 18th of July, but now that date's been changed on the website just to say coming soon. Even though the parks are closed, there are still cast members working in the parks. Security is still patrolling, the horticulture team are still keeping things neat and pretty. Animal carers at Animal Kingdom are doing an incredible job taking care of the amazing animals, and every day the flag ceremony is still happening at Magic Kingdom. In Florida, golf courses remain open, including Disney's courses, so staff there also remain working. In Europe, Disneyland Paris has extended the cancellation of reservations now into mid-July, with the Hotel New York that is being refurbished and transformed into the Art of Marvel reopening announced as being delayed until further notice. At Hong Kong Disneyland, the park remains closed, but Disneyland Hotel, Inspiration Lake Recreation Centre and the Enchanted Gardens restaurant are open, with character dining taking place in the restaurant. Meanwhile in Japan, the state of emergency has been extended through to the 31st of May, with Tokyo Disneyland Resort remaining closed during this time. In their recent quarterly results, the new chief executive of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Chapek, said he expected Disney Cruise Line to be the last section of the company to reopen. Cruises have currently been cancelled into July, and Bob Chapek said he thought them unlikely to start sailing for several months yet. The quarterly earnings call for the second quarter earnings also gave us into a glimpse of just how the coronavirus is affecting the Walt Disney Company. The results only partly take into account the initial effects of the virus, accounting for the first 2 weeks of the US park closures. Walt Disney Company Chairman Bob Iger noted that the company is very resilient and well placed to weather the storm, while Bob Chapek stated they would not open the parks unless they would make a positive contribution to the Walt Disney Company's overhead costs and could operate whilst making a profit. The company's profits have taken a $1.4 billion hit in the first 3 months of the year, about $1 billion of that loss coming from Disney parks and resorts, and about half of that figure coming from the US parks, with the other half coming from international parks and the Disney Cruise Line. In some positive news for the Disney Company, Disney Plus has launched in new territories, and as of the 4th of May, the streaming service has now attracted 54.5 million subscribers. The service does remain loss-making for the company, posting a loss of $812 million for the quarter. Disney set themselves a target of reaching 60 to 90 million subscribers by 2024, so they are well on their way, but are still behind Netflix with 167 million subscribers and Amazon Prime with 150 million subscribers. Disney's hope is to reach into China with a population of 1.4 billion, and if any American media company can get permission to launch a streaming service in China, it is likely to be Disney. At the Disney Theme Park Vlog, we are loving having Disney Plus and the full back catalogue of animated Disney classics. We've also loved watching the Imagineering story, so if you want to discover more about the story of Disney theme parks and how they create some of the most magical places on Earth, then do check that one out. During the pandemic crisis, Disney announced in April they would stop paying 100,000 workers, almost half of its workforce, though it will continue to provide healthcare benefits for staff placed on unpaid leave during this time and encourage its staff to apply for government benefits. Disney execs have been taking a pay cut, with Chairman Bob Iger announcing he would not be taking a salary during this time. The Walt Disney Company has also been taking out a large number of loans to ease the pressure on cash flow. With the theme parks closed and no income from movie releases in the cinemas, the company has taken out $6 billion in loans. The company already had $36 billion in debt, so that now takes the total company debt to $44 billion. In their quarter earnings meeting, Disney said they were shoring up finances by reducing their capital investment plans by $900 million and suspending a planned dividend payment. Now, we don't know what impact their reduction in investment plans will have on the parks, but we would expect them to be monetizing their assets as quickly as possible to help the company recover swiftly. The parks have generally been very profitable for Disney, but do tend to require massive investment, and under Bob Iger's leadership we have seen Disney investing on an unprecedented scale, with large-scale construction projects happening at all Disney parks around the world. We would expect where construction is already happening that work will continue very soon, but we should remember what happened at the Pop Century Resort in Florida following the September 11th terrorist attacks. Disney was partway through construction on the second phase of the Pop Century Resort, with the Legendary Years buildings having been built. When the reduction in tourism hit, this led Disney leaving half the resort uncompleted, while still visible from the Classic Years section of the resort. It would be a further 9 years before that section opened as Disney's Art of Animation resort. This was under the Michael Eisner era of leadership at the company, but recently Disney seems to have found that rather than cutting corners and trying to run theme parks on the cheap, that investing in the parks will gain rewards. But the company is at an interesting point in the road when it comes to leadership, as Bob Iger stepped down as Chief Executive Officer in February to be succeeded by Bob Chapek. It was announced that Bob Iger would stay on as Disney's Executive Chairman until the end of 2019 to help oversee the creative side of the company and complete the transition of bringing 20th Century Fox into the company. Under Bob Iger's leadership, the Walt Disney Company's market value has increased fivefold, with pretty much all areas of the company seeming to be delivering excellent results. And Disney acquiring a range of amazing companies that include Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm and 20th Century Fox, making Disney the biggest media company in the world. So back to how Disney will invest in its parks. We would expect them to prioritise completing the existing attractions with Ratatouille at Epcot and a massive reimagining of the centre of the park, the Tron coaster under construction for Magic Kingdom. At Hong Kong Disneyland, the castle is going through a magical transformation. We expect these and other existing building works to be completed as soon as Disney can, as these investments will encourage guests back to the park. We can also expect there to be a reduction in the amount of big-scale projects that Disney may have been planning to announce. With the Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World due to celebrate their 50th anniversary in 2021, we have been expecting some big announcements on entertainment at the next D23. We have our fingers crossed for a new nighttime parade. We've not had one since the Main Street Electrical Parade finished its run in 2016. We also expected a new daytime parade to replace Festival of Fantasy Parade that has been running since 2014. Disney may already be quite a way down the line with planning and preparation for this, but I would expect to see them take into account how guests return to the park and if things return to normal. Another piece of good news for the company before we go, as on May the 4th, Disney announced that Taika Waititi, who won an Academy Award for Jojo Rabbit and made Marvel's Thor Ragnarok, will direct and co-write a new Star Wars film. We loved both of these films and we think it will be a great match that will be a unique and interesting new take to the Star Wars universe. The Star Wars films have also been huge box office hits for Disney and will certainly help get the finances back on track. So there's lots to be looking forward to at Disney Parks, and to stay updated, subscribe to our channel and we'll do our best to keep you posted. If you have any comments or questions, do get in touch on social media. Links are in the description. While you're there, why not give us a like and subscribe? I've been Adam for the Disney Theme Park Vlog. Thanks for watching and we'll see you real soon.